Good morning and thank you for joining me in Marie's Casual Corner. I'm Marie. Today we're going to be discussing Twilight, the movie. As always, in the description will be all of the details for the movie. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe, share and follow, and drop a comment below if you have a suggestion for a book, movie, or TV show. So, what is Twilight about? For those of you that don't know, Twilight is about Bella Swan. She is played by Kristen Stewart as she moves from Phoenix, Arizona to Forks, Washington to live with her father, Charlie Swan, who is the chief of police, and he is played by Billy Burke. Now, there she starts making friends, getting to know the town again as she grew up there briefly. Her parents were married young, divorced young, when her mother couldn't take living in a small town anymore. So she took Bella and left. Bella stayed every summer for 2 weeks until she was 14 or 15. She's now a sophomore in high school and will be going to Forks High School, where she meets the Cullen family, and they just intrigue her. Especially Edward Cullen, played by Robert Pattinson. There's just something about him that is attractive to her, just something that draws her to him. And her friends are telling her good luck with that. He's not attracted to anybody at the school. People have, many of us have tried, and it's just no. And the day before her first day of school, she is reintroduced to her father's best friend, Gil Birmingham, who plays Billy Black, and his son, Jacob Black, played by Taylor Lautner. Charlie had bought her a car so she could get around and not have to wait for him or walk, especially since in Forks, Washington, it rains pretty much all the time. So she is, really attracted and intrigued by Edward. And one day it has rained and kind of frozen over because it's so cold, and one of the boys hits it, one of the students, Tyler, hits a patch of ice, nearly hits her. Edward comes over to her rescue, and they just stare at each other as he's put his hand in the vehicle and made a dent. Now, Edward is actually on the other side of the parking lot when she is nearly crushed. She's taken to the local hospital where Edward's adoptive father, is Dr. Carlisle Cullen, and he is played by Peter Facinelli. And she just was talking to him. Charlie comes in, Tyler's apologizing, and eventually Bella's able to leave, and she wants to talk to Edward. She sees him. He's talking to his father and his adopted sister, Rosalie, played by Nikki Reed. They talk. She does some research. She ends up going to the beach with her friends. Meets up with Jacob there on accident because it's on the reservation where Jacob and his family live, as they are Indian Native American, and live on that reservation. She gets him to tell her some local local legends, and starts really piecing together that Edward is a vampire. Eventually, Edward finds his desire to stay away by giving in his desire to be with her. And you meet his other adopted sister, Alice, played by Ashley Greene. Her boyfriend, played by Jackson Rathbone. His name is Jasper. Hale. And Jasper is the newest member of the family. Alice and Edward have special gifts. Edward can read people's minds except for Bella's, and Alice can see the future. And we also meet Edward's mother, Esme Cullen, and she is played by Elizabeth Reeser. And then rounding out the Cullen family is Emmet Cullen, played by Kellan Lutz. Emmet is big, strong, very jock-like, and likes Bella. Rosalie does not like her. Actually, Rosalie is jealous of her, but that comes to play later in a different one of the movies. Now, Carlisle and Esme, they just want Edward happy. Rosalie, like I said, she's jealous. Alice loves her. She loves Bella and knows they're going to be the best of friends. And poor Jasper is just so new that all he wants to do is just eat her, suck her blood, essentially. And they all go one day to play baseball, and that's where all the action really starts to happen for the movie. They meet James, Victoria, and Laurent. And when it comes through, they realize that Bella is a human, and they get Bella out, but not before James decides that he wants to get Bella. Bella leaves. She leaves town. She gets into a fight with her dad. Tells him she wants to leave. Says the same thing that her mother did to him. And she and Edward flee to his house where his family's waiting, and they take her away. Alice and Jasper take her to Phoenix. They try to track James to get rid of him, but he ends up getting there, and Bella is bitten. Edward saves her by sucking the venom out, and she eventually recovers and returns to Forks. A lot of the movie, I think, would be better if you could have heard Edward's perspective. We'll get a lot into that in the novel and then in the comparison, but being able to, see some of the movie through Edward's eyes would have been really interesting at this point. Especially in a movie when they do that, they switch perspectives, even if it's, or points of view, even if it's told mainly from somebody else's point of view, it still goes to somebody else's point of view. And they do that a lot in this. Like, they'll show, in the first one, they show Bella, but then they'll show, like, Edward on the phone, calling her. So they switch point of view, and it would be nice to kind of see, kind of get what Carlisle and Emmet are feeling at the same time that Edward's feeling it. And even when they're all together, like in the meadow playing baseball, just to kind of to hear what the other people are, what the other Cullens are thinking about Bella and Edward as a couple and things like that. I think it would have just added another layer to the movie. It was shot in blue tones, which I liked. The acting was not bad. It could have been better. My one bane of existence through this entire series is honestly Kristen Stewart. I think there are points where her acting is decent, but there are points where her her acting is just over the top and she's unexpressive. And in a movie like this, which is supposed to be a romance in some respects, but also a supernatural movie in other respects, it pays to have a very expressive face, and she just does not. Like, yes, you can see that she's smiling, but there's like no real feeling behind that, and it's annoying. Do I recommend it? Yes. If you like the books, watch the movie. But just know, and I'll get into that in the comparison, but just know there's differences. I mean, the author, Stephenie Meyer, was included in every step of the way. But at the same time, I think the creative and budget took over in a lot of respects. We'll get into the comparison on the differences again in the, we'll get into the differences in the comparison video. I am going to go ahead and end here. One quick point. The song that is in the movie is actually written by Robert Pattinson and performed by Robert Pattinson, and was included kind of last minute. He was also not the first choice for Edward by the author. But now I am going to end the video here. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. And drop me a comment down below if there's a movie, TV show, or book you'd like me to discuss. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.